Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Rick Haaland, and I am here to tell you about my new course that I just put up at Udemy. That's udemy.com. And it is called Using Medical Marijuana for Chronic Pain Control. Now, a while ago, I did a podcast called Living with Gabapentin. And that particular video got almost 36,000 views in a relatively short amount of time. And it was organic views, by the way. I didn't do anything to promote it, didn't put any ads on there or any redirects to that particular video. And the health videos seem to be the most popular. I know that there's a lot of people suffering in terrible pain, and they're looking for legitimate and alternative answers. Now, let me tell you a little bit about my story. I used to be on Tylenol 3s, Gabapentin, OxyContin, fentanyl, Celebrex, morphine sulfate, just you name it, I've been on it for pain control. I have a neck injury. And when I was on Gabapentin, I found Gabapentin really worked well for me. A lot of people gave me a lot of negative comments because they hated Gabapentin. They hated the weight gain. They hated the way it made them feel. Yeah, you know what? There are some drugs that make me feel really fuzzy in the head. Two of them are fentanyl and OxyContin, which my doctor had me on. Did you know that now I do not take anything for pain control except medical marijuana, and we do not smoke it. Look, we've put a course together, and I'm really reaching out to people that are suffering badly with their chronic pain, and they've tried medicines. I mean, come on, I was on between 510 and 600 pills a month. That's a lot of pills. That's a lot of dope going into your brain and your body. Can you imagine the burden of having 180 T3s a month for 5 years on your liver? It's terrible. So I went to my pain specialist and I said, look, I hate all these pharmaceuticals. He said, well, go on medical marijuana. I'll get you a green card. And I fought it for the longest time. I said, it's illegal in Canada, da-da-da-da. And he said, no, it's not. Well, it's kind of a gray area. It is still illegal in Canada up until April 20th of 2016. Now they're legalizing it across the entire nation. But at that time, it was illegal. But they moved into a gray area that if you had a membership card to the BC Compassion Club or some other distribution network through a doctor, that they would turn the other way and say, okay, it's for medical reasons. We will not arrest you or hassle you or anything, even though it is deemed illegal. So my wife and I went on medical marijuana. We do not smoke. We take it in the form of tinctures. We take it in the form of paste, and I use a vaporizer. Is that smoke? No. The vaporizer, it warms it up to below the combustion point, because when you combust medical marijuana, when you light it and smoke it, you automatically, it is a proven scientific fact, you automatically, right away, waste 80% of the medicine. It's like buying a $100 bottle of wine and pouring 80% of it down the drain and only saving a little bit. Why would anybody want to do that? We use the tincture and the hash oil and the vaporizer to give us incredible pain control. So I wanted to reach out to all these people that have issues with their chronic pain, that are looking for viable options. My wife and I have been on medical marijuana for over a year, and you have no idea, how good this stuff is. And let me back up and explain a couple of things. If you use it properly and you dose yourself correctly and you work with your doctor or your medical marijuana specialist to titrate yourself the proper way, you should never get stoned. You should never get stoned on medical marijuana. Now, in the beginning, are you going to take a little bit too much, just a couple of drops too much, and feel a slight euphoric feeling? Possibly. It's like having 2 glasses of wine really quick. It's just like a slight lightheaded feeling. But I'll tell you what, once you get over that hump and once you find the level of medical marijuana in your body that you need for a very, very good pain relief without making you feel euphoric, that is the sweet spot. And for me, it took me about 10 days to 2 weeks. And then I had it locked in. I dialed it in and I didn't go away from that particular formula. I take medical marijuana twice a day. So does my wife. I take it in the morning and I take it just before I go to bed at night. And that's all we need to use. It costs us a very frugal $320 a month for both of us to be on medical marijuana. And because of that, we canceled our extended medical plan because we don't need the chiropractors and the massage therapists and the acupuncturists. Medical marijuana has controlled our pain so well that we don't need any of that now. Plus, it has other benefits. It's controlling my diabetes, the blood sugar. It's controlling men that have swollen prostates. There's claims on the internet that it will help that. Folks, medical marijuana is nothing to be afraid of. As a matter of fact, it's something to be embraced. So I've created a course on Udemy. That's udemy.com. Just look for the course called, and I'll read it for you, Using Medical Marijuana for Chronic Pain Relief by Rick Haaland. That's my name. Rick Haaland, spelled Haaland is my last name. Go check it out. We've got nine or 10 videos, and we've got about 5 or 6 pages of supporting documentation. And shoot me an email if you want. My email is tradeshowwebradio@gmail.com, and tell me your journey. Tell me what you're going through. And possibly if we're going to do a podcast show on medical marijuana in the future, we might have you on and tell your story. Medical marijuana can help so many people, and they needlessly suffer. And if somebody's come up to you and said, oh, it's highly addictive, it'll ruin your life, it's a gateway drug, none of those things are true. Honestly, none of those things are true. I work with one of the finest pain specialists in BC. And he said he would put 100% of his patients on medical marijuana if he could. As it is now, he says 70% of his patients go on medical marijuana, and quite a few of them stay on medical marijuana for their pain control. Now, I would imagine that as soon as the government legalizes cannabis in Canada in January, February, March, April 20th, Acts 420 Day, 2016, that there will be a relaxation of those people that say, oh, I can't use medical marijuana, it's against the law. It will no longer be against the law. And I feel that the medical community and a lot of people that are suffering will embrace medical marijuana, and it's very, very important to use it correctly. My recommendations, the BC Compassionate Club does a phenomenal job. They will answer all your questions. They make an appointment. My wife and I went down there one Saturday, and they took 2 full hours to answer all of our questions. They showed us around the dispensary. They showed us around their health area where they've got acupuncturists and Reiki people and massage therapists and a whole bunch of different methodologies for people that are really, really sick, like HIV and cancer and things of this nature. But you have to put it into perspective. Medical marijuana is a very, very powerful natural occurring herb that was used in the Bible, by the way, for a whole bunch of sacrifices. Some experts suggest that it was used 75% in the sacrifices. You know, when they burn things? Well, if you were a priest in the Old Testament and you wanted to do a sacrifice and you had this handful of medical marijuana that you put on the burning, the sacrifice, well, yeah, if you stand close to it a little bit, they got high, sure, there was no and then I think that's how it all started, is when they did sacrifices, they would burn the medical marijuana or the marijuana, and it would get into their lungs, they'd get high and say, wow, whatever we're burning over there, it makes me feel so euphoric and healthy and relaxed. Not a good idea to smoke it. Please keep in mind, do not smoke medical marijuana. But let me give you a quick breakdown of what is included in my Udemy course, because I think education on this is extremely important. Look, I'm reaching out to people that are suffering so badly, and I did for 6 years. This is a 7-year journey. I was so injured I could not work for several years. I couldn't even lift more than 10 pounds. So here's what we cover. Why is a training program for medical marijuana necessary from me? Please do not smoke marijuana. That's one of the videos. I list all the pharmaceuticals I used to take. And another video says, how much should you start with? We talk about that. Another one says, how soon do you decrease your meds when using medical marijuana? It took me 2 months to get off of every single pain pill that I had. And trust me, even with extended medical, when we paid $400 a month with extended medical, that does not mean you get your pharmaceuticals for free. No. If those pharmaceuticals aren't included in your Canada Health or covered by your insurance, you're still paying a big wad of money. So quite often our drug expenses would be $400 just for the pharmaceuticals and $400 for the extended medical. What's up with that? So some months we were paying up to $800 just to get our prescriptions and pay for our extended medicals. Now we pay $320 for 2 people, and we don't have to deal with any of that. We sleep like a baby. We get up refreshed. We're revitalized. We've got energy. Our creative marijuana in its raw form gives you tremendous creative potential. So that's what we're experiencing now as well. We're calm. We're logical. We can think through things. And it's just given us the best chance of recovering from our chronic pain that I have ever seen. When I originally did my videos about gabapentin, boy, oh boy, were there a lot of people that said, that stuff is junk and it's da-da-da. But remember, when I was on gabapentin, I juiced and I walked religiously. I exercised religiously, and I juiced 3 times a day. So that helped the drug interact, and it helped the drug much more effectively handle my pain. But it never really took my pain away. It just kind of dulled the pain. You knew the pain was still there. It was just kind of keeping it at bay, but you always knew it was present. With medical marijuana that we use now, there is no pain. I'll give you an example. Here's how my pain pattern used to be. 95% of the time I was in pain, and 5% I was okay, as long as I didn't move a muscle. Flip that around with medical marijuana. 95% of the time I am fantastic, and 5% I'm uncomfortable, not in terrible pain. Well, if I do something stupid like go out and lift, 75-pound dumbbell or something. But now I'm in uncomfortable for 5% and great for 95%. What a tremendous switch. Folks, please, I'm begging you, go check out my course at udemy.com, that is udemy.com, and look for the course called Using Medical Marijuana for Chronic Pain Relief. Hey, we've been through it, my wife and I, and we can tell you with honesty, medical marijuana works. Now, a couple of disclaimers here. It works if you do not have an addictive personality. Now, some experts out there are saying medical marijuana is not addictive. Interesting. Until you mix humans into the mix, they say medical marijuana is not addictive. Well, what does that mean? Well, let's compare some interesting variables. The people that are going to become addicted to medical marijuana is 9%. That they've done studies. 9% of the population will become addicted, and it will be horrible for them. It won't work for them because they will take more drug than they need, and it will become hooked on them. Or they will become hooked on it. Compare that to alcohol. And this is on the internet. Go take a look. Alcohol addiction, 26%. Boom, right there. So the difference between alcohol addiction and marijuana addiction is 17%. 91% of the population will benefit from using medical marijuana. It's cheap. It's natural. It has no interaction with drugs, with other drugs. Experts claim, this is not my claim, experts claim it is completely non-addictive, and it is safe to use. And I get it. There's a lot of misinformation out there about, marijuana is so bad and you can't use it. Yes, you can. The way they grow and breed marijuana for medical purposes is different than street pot. They try to take as much THC out of the medical marijuana as they can. THC is the stuff that gets you stoned. By the way, I don't know if you knew this or not. Here's something fascinating about medical marijuana. If you do not heat medical marijuana, you cannot get high. It's impossible. As soon as you heat it, smoke it, vaporize it, heat it to turn it into oil or tincture or compassion oil or hash oil or whatever it is, it then aggravates the properties of the THC and you can get high. But what the breeders of medical marijuana try to do is they try to get a balance or low THC and high CBD. The CBD is the stuff that really takes down your inflammation. The THC gives you a mind stone, and some people prefer that. But people that have chronic pain, they would prefer a body euphoria feeling if they can. It's really easy to work with a couple of professionals to find out where your medical marijuana needs are. One, you must work with a medical marijuana professional. Must. And you must bring your doctor in and tell them what's going on and let them know what you're doing and allow them to have input into your medical regime. So at some time in the future, they can decrease your meds. I'm living proof. I am absolutely living proof. My wife used to take puffers, like puffers for asthma, once every day or once every other day. She threw them out. She no longer has breathing problems. It is just incredible. She used to suffer migraines, and it would put her in bed in 3 or 4 days out of a month. And she didn't get migraines that lasted a day or a week. They would be monthly. They would a month or two. It was horrible to watch her. She hasn't had a headache for over a year. That's one of the beauty of medical marijuana. It has certain qualities inside the plant that match very, very closely with our chemicals inside our own body. It's almost like they have very similar DNA structure. They come into your body and say, what do you need? They produce a two-way conversation. Pharmaceuticals produce a one-way conversation. Pharmaceuticals say, I will block this pain and I won't let you know what's going on. Gabapentin is a very, very good example of that. Medical marijuana says, what do you need? I have these super chemicals over here, and they're almost like a multivitamin. I will give you that. Oh, you need this? Yeah, I will give you that, and you can give me this and that. And it starts to repair your body. So I'm here to tell you, I am elated with what medical marijuana has done in my lifetime. Go over and check out our course. Let me know your findings. Let me know your opinion. And if we've got enough interest in this, I will do a weekly podcast show and I will support you. All right, this is Rick Haaland for Trade Show Web Radio, and I want to talk to you later on about your experiences with medical marijuana, good, bad, or indifferent. Hey, not everybody is going to love medical marijuana, but I can tell you what it did for my wife and I. It changed our lives. It gave us our health back, and it rolled the years back. Constantly you hear people saying, I feel 20 years younger. I feel 30 years younger. It's just incredible. So there it is. So we'll see you hopefully at the course, and then you can tell me how the information worked for you. See you again, folks. Bye-bye. Take care.